As always, please put in your questions in the Q&A box and we'll be happy to answer as many as we can. But do put in your questions in the Q&A box. Hi, Prathamesh. Good evening. All right, Rohan. I see you have Central Perk. Are you a Friends fan as well?
Yes, very big.
All right. I thought it was before your generation, but no problem.
No.
All right. Welcome to this session, Rohan, and thank you so much for collaborating with the Harappa School of Leadership and the Accelerated Management Program once again. We're very, very excited to, we're recruiting for our third cohort right now, and we hope to partner with you as always. As we begin, I'd like to introduce Rohan to everyone in case you don't know him. Rohan is the co-founder of Build Your Own Brand. It's an exclusive service that works to help people craft their resumes, spruce up their LinkedIn profiles, and anything and everything related to personal branding. Rohan is an experienced professional and has worked in sales and marketing. And he's worked with organizations like Bank of America, MTV, and Zomato. Welcome, Rohan. I think we wanted to start with a small game today, right?
Yes.
Just launch into questions like we normally do. But so I'm going to ask Rohan some questions and I'm going to see, he's going to answer them only in a yes or a no. And he's not allowed to give detailed answers. But I'm knowing Rohan, I know he will. By the way, if you agree or disagree with this, maybe you can start by giving us the answer before Rohan gives it. I think, Rohan, can we ask them to raise their hand if it's a yes? I can
just put it in the chat.
Yeah, just put it in the chat. Great. If you think the question that I'm asking deserves a yes, say yes. If you think it deserves a no, say no. If you are not sure and you think maybe, then let's put a maybe. Rohan, you have to answer only after they answer.
Nice.
We have about a few people with us, so let's make this a little more engaging and fun. All right, the first question. Should you customize your LinkedIn connection request messages? Everyone, please put your answers in chat. All right. All right, Rohan, I think that's a dead giveaway.
I think that's a dead giveaway.
All right. Okay, let's look at the next one. Is it okay to exaggerate your profile a little bit on LinkedIn so that you can attract more attention? Oh, everyone's saying no, and Sri Lakshmi has a very, very big no to it, but I'm wondering what others think. Thank you, Vishal, Prathamesh. Seriously, everyone really believes you shouldn't exaggerate even a little tiny, little bit. Okay, there's someone who says yes.
Have you exaggerated, Seema, on your LinkedIn a bit?
I should not let the secret out. Okay, there's one maybe, but mostly no's. So let's hear from Rohan. Rohan?
I'd say no, but for the maybe, you can back it up, then go ahead.
What do you mean back it up? If you back it up, then it's the truth, right?
I mean, like, if you can faff it a little bit, but not too much, then go for it. But
so then yours is not a no, it's a maybe, because you believe in a little faffing. Is
little, very less.
Okay. Okay. Should you connect with people with the sole and explicit purpose of increasing your follower count? So I think what we're really asking now is that if anybody sends you a request, is it okay to sort of, connect with them because that increases your follower count and that's important on LinkedIn? Okay. Lots of no's coming in again. Okay. Why do I think yours will be a maybe?
No. It's a
Okay. Why? Why is that? Isn't it like, like in social media, the golden rule is that you should get more and more followers and that's how it works?
I think that's too 2022. Now 2023 is all about quality.
Okay. So you're actually saying that one should sort of look through and see
Yes.
what
I have
requests
a
are
live
coming.
experience. Like my follower count really bumped up in the month of March, but I saw my engagement drop. So I guess I got the wrong followers. So you have to really kind of now, once you reach a benchmark, just be careful with who you're adding, especially if you're producing content on the platform.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I think this set of people know all the answers, so I really don't know what you're going to add.
That's exactly what was in my mind.
Yeah. Okay, should you use slang or informal language on your LinkedIn to make your profile seem more approachable? Okay. So some emphatic no's, someone maybe. Sri Lakshmi, I'm not sure how to identify this. You said no, not always. Means sometimes it's okay, is it? Okay, all right. And Prathamesh is again a very, very loud no. All right, Rohan?
I think maybe, because LinkedIn's transformed so much and there's so much personal content out there. You can use a little bit of your personal one-line slang. Really helps with the connection.
Do you mean you can use different sort of, Vishal says
I think Vishal has used the word perfectly. Informal is a little bit of informal lingo is okay. Don't go completely Gen Z with slang words, but definitely have a little bit of personal touch. Like, what do you like to do besides work? Maybe travel.
Is it okay to mix words from different languages, Hindi, English, maybe some other language?
That's a very interesting question. Actually, I have a story to it. One of my creator friends, she started posting video content in Hindi. She saw a huge bump up in her viewership. We kind of stay away from I don't know why, just inherently when we're producing video content, we talk less in Hindi, but you can experiment a little bit of that. Because LinkedIn is now available in different languages also.
Okay. Last question. Should you endorse your connections skills on LinkedIn? Yes, no, maybe. All right. This seems to have a lot of them saying yes. Yes, genuinely. That's interesting.
I think I'll agree with Anitya. If you know the person, if you have a professional relationship with them, you know them personally, you have established a connect on LinkedIn, definitely endorse them. But if you don't know them, you haven't had any kind of professional contact with them, I would hold off, because that might seem a little, overbearing.
So, Vishal, what we were really asking was, sometimes you have people requesting you to write a recommendation for them on LinkedIn. So what we were really asking was, should you do that for any and everybody? And what Rohan is saying is, it's better to do it only for people you know and you genuinely can vouch for their skills. If you can't vouch for someone's skills, better not to mention, better not to endorse it. Right, Rohan?
When you're writing a recommendation, LinkedIn has a pop-up. If you worked with them, what organization, were they a reporting manager, etc. So checks are there.
Okay. All right. So I think, thank you so much, Rohan. I hope it was fun for everyone. And I think the audience is completely clued in. So I have really no idea what Gyan you're going to give them, but let's start. So meanwhile, guys, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A box, and let's make this more about you and less about us. Okay. So one of the questions that I always wanted to ask, and I think I did that in that little video that you made me do, is really, is your LinkedIn profile equal to your resume, or is there a difference between the two?
It's a much better tool than a resume. It adds a lot of ammunition to your candidature. So like at BYOB, we don't ship out just resumes when it comes to our clientele. We give them a resume and LinkedIn because it's an elongated version of your resume. You get 10 other things. You can do much more, which you can't fit on a page. So I've been using it since 2011. All right. I've gotten every opportunity through LinkedIn. I found Harappa through LinkedIn. So resume has always been the second one for me. So definitely it's different and it's much more of a value add than just a resume.
So you're saying that while your resume and your LinkedIn should sort of be similar, LinkedIn gives you a much wider canvas than what your resume does.
Like you have your profile picture, you can put your video resume on it. You have a cover photo which can like highlight what you do. There's an about me section which gives you 2,200 characters. There's a headline section which gives you 300 characters, almost 220 characters. Then you have work experience, you have skills, you have endorsements, you have recommendations, you have so much other projects, certifications. All of that can be visible in a very nice visual manner. And all you have to do is hyperlink it to your resume. So much more visual. Plus, there's a featured section. If you put out content, they'll know what your thoughts are. It attracts opportunities that you never knew about. So the canvas is huge. And I think they're about to touch 1 billion users. Like 2 weeks back, I did a YouTube video. They were at 970. And today, I think they're about to touch 1 billion. So really doing well.
Okay. I think this is one question that most people, sort of, because LinkedIn is considered to be a professional platform or a platform to network and make professional connections. What are your top 3 steps for trying to find a job using LinkedIn?
So I would say like from my story, like I've gotten pretty much all my internships, job opportunities from LinkedIn. All right. The biggest strategy is you get a direct access to the hiring manager, decision maker. All right. If you're applying on a company portal or a job portal, you really don't know who's going to be seeing your resume for the first go. So it's very easy to kind of join the dots if you're suppose applying for a digital marketing role at company A. The hierarchy for a marketing department is pretty simple. You find the marketing head, the digital marketing head, and you can drop them a personalized request. So when it comes to job searching, first is definitely try and reach out to the head of the department who's hiring, because HR is definitely the facilitator and their LinkedIns are filled with requests and spam. So they kind of get overwhelmed. So it's definitely, if you reach out to the decision maker, that really helps. That's what I've personally used in my career a lot. Then when it comes to job, they have customized job alerts. All right. You can, if you want to apply for 5-6 roles, you can set different alerts. They keep on sending you new open jobs every week, every day, daily actually. And as soon as they open up, you get an email. So you can be those early applicants. It shows you how many people have applied, what is the pay structure, all of that. So a lot of cool things when it comes to job search. Their search is improving week on week. You can search by designation, remote, salary, all of it. And I think I had a stat pulled out for today's webinar. They have about 58 million registered companies. So that's a huge number. So when it comes to research, you can find all you want over there.
But can you actually do all of that with a basic LinkedIn account, or do you need to be on a premium?
Yes, you can. It's a premium definitely has its advantages, but you can do pretty much everything you want. And a premium, like people think that it's expensive, but the investment for your career isn't that much. And you get 1 free month and you can really utilize it well. But you can do pretty much everything with a free account.
Okay. If you were to sort of, recommend 2 or 3 things, and I think we discussed bringing up a LinkedIn page, what would you sort of tell us? And Panatav, let's give Rohan Rohan, do you have a LinkedIn profile open with you? Something? What are the 3 or 4 key things on your page that you should look out for and make sure you always, sort of fulfill, or you have it, like you have the information, and how do you sort of do it?
While it loads, I can definitely talk about it. So the primary thing is like LinkedIn gives you 10 things to kind of, classify yourself as an all-star, all right? And those 10 things are your, let me just open it. It'll be,
I have it open. Should I project it?
sure, you can. I'm also opened it, Wesley.
Just give me a minute. I'll share screen. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. So when it comes to, whenever you create your first LinkedIn profile, all right, there's like a timeline and a barometer that you'll be given, and you have to kind of match that to reach an all-star level. Ensure that never goes wrong. And all of those are profile picture, your cover photo, there's a personal URL. Now, personal URL is primarily for CTA that you want people to check out. So if you see my profile, it says exhausted job seeker / busy CXO. So if you click that, it'll go to my website. So a lot of people use that for their Medium links or their personal portfolio, etc. Then comes your, above that is my headline. So if you see, it's optimized for a bunch of keywords. So if someone is looking for a resume writer, they search resume writer, I have a higher chance of popping up. If someone is looking for a ghostwriter, they can, I have a higher chance of picking up. It gives you 220 characters. So I would recommend over here to have what you're doing currently, what is your domain expertise, and highlight a bunch of relatable brands, all right? Because when you do a search, all right, so if you put in your name, Seema, in the search, or if you put in my name, you'll see that it pops up with a certain amount of text. And that is your headline. You see, co-founder at BYOB. So you have to optimize it in such a way that the first few sentences tell the people exactly what you're looking for. So that's definitely a point. Now, over the years, LinkedIn has like transformed more from a professional network to more of a social media avenue as well. So they're really pushing the creator economy a lot, and they push a lot of written content. They started with that. There were articles. Now you see a bunch of pictures on LinkedIn, and eventually now video. I'm not a big fan of, I would say, like video on LinkedIn, because we have enough kind of there, but there's been like strong rumors that they will be pushing it. So if you see where I said talks about BYOB sales, ghostwriting, resume, and personal branding, it gives you 5 hashtags or topics that you can mention and you talk about. So if you are really looking to produce content and push it out, I would recommend thinking about these 5 niches and having them on your profile. Now, if you go down a little bit, if you are an entrepreneur like myself, you can have, and you in the services industry, you do some kind of consulting, or do you kind of offer any kind of service, it also allows you to give you what all your services are. So this helps in a lot of lead gen. So this will show up in people who might be looking for a resume review. I get 5 to 6 leads a week from this. Conversion percentage is high because my service is driven on LinkedIn. So that is something that you should definitely work around that. If you go back, now this is the featured section. Now featured section allows you 10 posts, and it allows you to highlight some of your notable achievements. I play around with this a lot, all right. A lot of people use it to show their viral posts, their journey, etc. Now you have to be careful because on the mobile, it shows only 2. On the desktop, it shows 3. So place the most important one first. So right now I've like just last week kind of experimenting with my review post. Earlier it was my the post that went viral, my launch photo. This is more to get validation to someone who is looking at your profile. So if you're a content producer for Seema, you've written so much of journalist articles. I would definitely recommend you have a lot of your famous publications at the top 3 here. So that is like, giving, I'm losing the word here, but it's like giving that validation to someone looking at you, that this is someone with authority. Now, activity, earlier this activity tab was really low because that time LinkedIn was primarily a portal for job seekers. But here you can see a bunch of content that I push out. I since I'm in the business of personal branding, I do it myself also. And it'll show you like how someone's active. It is definitely pleasing to the eye if there is some recent content. If you see that the last time person posted was 1 year ago, 6 months ago, it kind of gets a little turn off, I would say. Now, about me, this is where I tell people who come and obsess about a summary on the resume. All right, because summary on a resume is losing about 2-3 inches of really good space. Here you have a good 2,600 characters to play around with, or its words are missing, but you can put a lot of information here. Don't make it a monologue, that is for sure. There are other portals like Mediums or blogs where you can go. Keep it 3 paragraph, currently what you're doing, your expertise, and a little bit of personal. So like I mentioned, the informal slang, if you read my last one. So if you like coffee, not the real strong ones, not the frothy sugar, and please ping me and we can get it. So that's a little bit of informal thing that you can play around with. Now going down is your work experience section. Now, another better part of the resume is this allows a lot of multimedia. So if you've done certain projects or you were part of certain kind of presentations which you did at your organization, you can add links to them. I would recommend do not have different bullet points as compared to your resume. Maybe you can have more here. Maybe you can have 5 for BYOB in my case, 2 on the resume because there is space restriction, but keep it similar so that it doesn't kind of throw off the reader. You can scroll down, you can see, you can add as much as experience you want. Then comes the education sector. There's decent amount of space for volunteering, license and certifications, skills. You can add up to 50 skills, so please utilize that. I will show you a very cool trick if you have 2 minutes. But Seema, you'll have to go on your profile for that. You're on mute. Or I can take share screen and I can probably show it to you.
Sure. How do I give you share screen?
I have it.
Okay.
So this is a feature that a lot of people, is my screen visible?
Yeah, the screen is visible.
All right. So LinkedIn gives you a feature which says build a resume. It's probably the worst resume it'll ever give you. So do not use it and apply for it. All right. Now, then you click on create profile. Now, suppose I want to be the chief financial officer or chief executive.
It's just 1 second, Rohan. I think let me stop sharing. You start sharing yourself. I don't think it's showing us what you want us to see.
Oh,
now do it. Yeah, please go ahead.
Should I go back once? Because that was probably an important point.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. So basically the agenda, what I'm showing is how to update your skills on LinkedIn. And there is a small hack. If you click on the more, it gives you an option to build a resume. All right. It'll probably give you the worst resume possible. That's why we have a business. So do not use it for that. Click create from profile. Now, enter your desired thing. Seema, if you decide your next venture, what do you want to be? Like, what is a designation you would aim? CEO?
Chief editor.
Chief editor?
Okay.
Okay, they don't have a chief editor.
Okay, CEO. Let's go with CEO. Let's be creative.
Okay, let's go with CEO. Okay, so if you want to be the CEO, you click apply. Now on the right, it tells you what's there, matching. Now this is of the billions and billions of job postings that are on LinkedIn. Now it will tell me suggested keywords or skills you should put on your resume. So you can add these skills in your skill section as well as your resume in action verbs or bullets, etc. And this bumps up not your chances of ATS, but when you're applying at a job on LinkedIn, because this is LinkedIn data, it will kind of bump up your chances of getting an interview call. And this is pretty much with any designation you're trying to apply. This is one of the most trustworthy tools I've come across. There are a bunch of free tools out there, and we do this for a lot of our clients. And kind of, we have our own database, but we definitely match up with this. But only put the keywords you've done. Like, don't put like something you've not done and kind of copying pasting just to bump up the skills, because once you reach the interview, they'll probably know. So this is a cool feature.
All right. So you finally had something for them that they didn't know.
Not a lot of people know about this.
Okay. Okay, let's take a question before we go ahead. This is someone who says they're a co-founder of a sustainable product company. How can he or she leverage their profile for generating more leads in the B2B space?
So when it comes to sustainable kind of, you said sustainable?
Sustainable product.
Sustainable product.
They haven't mentioned what the product is.
All right. So when it comes to LinkedIn, right? When it comes to lead generation, first you have to, with any business, kind of start with awareness. All right. Now, thanks to LinkedIn's transformation into more of a creator platform, you can definitely start investing time in publishing a lot of content. All right. So this can be around your product. It can be around your personal journey. Why did you get into sustainable? And since you are in your venture, what is the reason behind it? This starts building trust. All right. And I would say what we do for a personal branding clientele is, that's exactly the strategy we do. We create a content strategy for them, break it up into multiple pillars, which is educational, awareness, analytical content, and create a calendar for them and content for them to start publishing out. So the first 2-3 months, start publishing content. All right. People will know that what you're talking about. And suddenly the awareness aspect starts to kind of pick up. And eventually it will start moving into a lead gen kind of process.
Okay, I'd request everyone to please put your questions in the Q&A box. If you put it in chat, it becomes difficult and we can miss the question. Just to start with, I think there's a question from Kiyor. He says, how do we keep our job search confidential? And normally if you're searching for a job on LinkedIn, does your existing company come to know that you are searching for a job?
No, it doesn't. Like when you're searching for a job and you're applying, you're not. But if your activity is public, like if you're commenting, don't go to an HR's post and say, I'm interested in this job opportunity. That'll probably pop up in your network. Maybe just message them privately. It does not reveal that you have applied. And I believe I haven't applied for a job in some time, but the time I would apply, when I apply on LinkedIn, it always shows that can we make your profile public? So you can always switch it off. So your existing company will not know.
Okay, so we have a question from Vishal. He says, I have a business where we need to connect with decision makers and oversee companies. I have taken a Sales Navigator subscription. How do you suggest we get these connections interested in us?
Oh, that's every entrepreneur's, I would say, pain point. Sales Navigator is a beautiful tool. I've been using it very extensively over the last couple of months, and it gives you a lot of search features which are not available in the regular search. Honestly, there is only one. It's a very philosophical answer. It's I would say, persistence. All right. People do respond on LinkedIn, but just be smart by the time you're approaching. What people do is they'll send a long cold message, more than 500, 600 words, selling everything in that. No one's going to read that. It's basic principles of sales. The first message should be just kind of getting a response from them, which can eventually lead to a call and interview. So Sales Navigator has a bunch of filters. You can do it country-wise, industry-wise, people you have, profiles you've seen, people you've not seen, in their connection, second and third. Try and go for your second and third connection because they are not in your network, so they will be there. Send some sample work while you're doing it. That is a much more easier way to validate it. And I guess just keep at it.
Okay, so we have a question here from someone who wants to know how can we leverage ChatGPT to optimize our LinkedIn profile?
I said don't. It's one of we did like an R&D exercise today only, two of my writers and I. It's sending out such generic content that I would say like it'll probably give you the same content it's giving to another million users. You can use it, but it's very generic. But if that's a different topic altogether, that would be how you kind of talk to ChatGPT, but be very specific about your experience so that it can give you a more personalized about me. If you go for a generic about me, you do this, that, it'll give you the most answer it's giving to hundreds of people.
Okay, so Prathamesh has a question here. Is it right to mention if we have our own private consulting gig while doing a job, and should that be part of your LinkedIn profile? Can it hamper your career as an employee?
So
I think that before even Rohan answers, I think that really depends on your organization's policies, Prathamesh, because these days many organizations have rules against moonlighting.
I think you've answered it, because
Yeah.
we had this question very today from someone. Like someone said that I want to remove this from my LinkedIn, and we said why? It's a good brand. It's like the other company doesn't know. So I think first get consent from either of the companies if you're working at two. Sort that out, then I would suggest go public with it.
Or, if you really have a side gig or something, and you probably have a name for it, that side business or something, then maybe create a separate profile. Because you technically, depending on what your employment rules are, it might be difficult. I mean, it's different. For example, if you're writing an article and you're, working as a software engineer, I don't think there's conflict of interest.
Yes.
Even then, it's better to check with your HR what your internal policies are. And I think these days, with that moonlighting thing becoming highlighted, it's a little difficult to do this. We have one of our learners, Dharyesh, who's put up his hand. Dharyesh, if you have a question, it would be good to please put it in the chat. It's just more helpful. All right. I have a question here from someone called E. Kumar. How helpful is this medium to figure out the health and happiness of your employees and team? Are there any markers in this medium that can suggest exit strategies of your employees or teams? As in, like, basically, can you find out by stalking someone on LinkedIn whether they're about to exit your organization?
I think that's a very intense question, but I would say speak to your employees directly, and that would give you a better answer. Stalking them online would probably not give you much
I suppose if they have an open to work tag on this thing, and that's probably one of the most obvious ways of finding out if they are
actively engaging on like hiring posts, and they are not shying away from saying that I'm interested in opportunity. They're clearly looking out. So that would be a major red flag. But I don't think there is a tool where that can mention your employer's, happiness over there.
Okay. So we have a question from Anidya. How do you manage your personal profile? How to manage personal profile separate while using LinkedIn for business development? Okay, it's almost similar to what we'd answered. Basically, if you're trying to develop a business, should you be using your personal profile for that, or should you have a separate profile? I think that's what is being asked here.
So I would definitely recommend having a business page for your company. All right. But do not, because that gives validation where you work, and there is a company, have your website, what do you do, your products, put out some content over there. Business pages are really monetized by LinkedIn, all right? That's their revenue model. So earlier you used to get some free jobs. Now you have to even pay 300 rupees per day to post a job as well. So you won't get much traction on the business page. Your personal works more. But subtle selling and kind of pushing your content out through your personal LinkedIn really works. So if you see Harappa's content, my content, and other content creators, they'll always kind of push out their experiences, and there'll be a subtle play on their company and their brand. All right. That kind of helps with more awareness passive. And LinkedIn overall, between Twitter, Instagram, etc., has a very decent organic reach. So if you want to look at to promote your business, definitely personal is the way. Company is definitely good for validations, etc. And if you have the money, the budgets are very high for LinkedIn. You can definitely run some ads.
Okay, so we have a question here now from Nikhil. He wants to know what are the things to escape while building a profile, and I suppose what are the things you should leave out, and what are the things that you should definitely put in while you're building your profile?
Okay. So I would say, like, the 10 things that I mentioned, when you set up your LinkedIn, I would say definitely complete all those 10 things, even if in the most basic manner. Your profile picture, your cover photo, your personal URL, your headline, about me, and your work experience section, and the skills. Because all of this gives a lot of push to the algorithm to kind of push you up in searches. And then next is your skills and endorsement, like Seema mentioned. Add up to 50 skills, because you don't get that much space on your resume. And definitely ask your friends and your colleagues to endorse that. So that is a must-haves. For, I would say, what you shouldn't do, like, there was a huge campaign in between about 3 months, like LinkedIn is not the new Instagram. So don't go too hard on your personal sob stories or personal achievements, which are good for an Instagram personal profile, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole platform. Be very professional, be pretty motivational in your content over there, because that's what's working. So don't go completely informal as well.
Okay, so we have a question here from someone who says they have 5 years of experience across startups and currently in a marketing MNC. And they say they have religiously applied for jobs on LinkedIn, but have never been able to crack any interview. I think what you mean by cracking is you've never got an interview through LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking to switch again and leverage LinkedIn for that. Should I opt for LinkedIn Premium or first optimize my profile?
So LinkedIn Premium, you get 1 month free. All right. And if you don't renew it, 2 months later, they'll give you 1 month free. All right. So if your time on your hand, definitely take the 1 month free. Second, never go for volume approach. Like, if you have 100 job openings, do not apply to all of them. Find the person who is kind of recruiting for that role. Set up your job alerts, because as soon as a job opens up, right, you get an email. Be active on your personal email, and that email is instantaneous, legitimately instantaneous. It can come at night or whatever. Reach out to the job poster, because 9 out of 10 times it is public who has posted that job. And from there, you can definitely figure out who is the hiring manager or the department. You can send a personalized note to anyone on LinkedIn. You don't need a premium on that. All right. You just go to add as a connection, add a note. Simple one-liner. I feel like I'm a great fit for this role. Would love to kind of get the direct contact details of that. Not asking for a referral. Just want to get in touch. And it works. It has worked with me as well, because that shows that you gave more initiative. You went above than just a blind application, and definitely puts you ahead a lot of people, because a lot of people don't do that. Trust me.
Okay. We have another question here from Hanif, I think. It says, how do I make best use of LinkedIn Learning?
LinkedIn Learning is very good. It's one of the most underrated things, and people don't know about it. They actually sell those courses to the Big Four and like a bunch of companies. So a lot of companies have outsourced their learning modules and training modules to LinkedIn. So if you not sure how much of that is available with a free account, because I have a premium and I get a lot of content. There is a lot of good video content around resume preparation, interview preparation, personal branding, sales, all of it. So LinkedIn Learn, Excel, and they're so real time with it, and it's dedicated. I would say, like, it's a very professional YouTube. So if you can put your phone aside and put 2-3 hours over there, you'll definitely get a decent amount of learning there. but it's a really definitely good product for sure.
Just adding to this, a question from Sri Lakshmi: how much value does a LinkedIn course certificate hold?
It does, because if you're taking right now, like someone mentioned, can I show my gig on that? We are living in an age where it's dominated with the gig economy. All right, a lot of people are switching careers, a lot of people are shifting industries, and the easiest way to do that is getting certifications. All right, so if you have work experience in marketing and you suddenly decide to shift in finance, you can't like build up financial experience in like very quickly, right? But LinkedIn has a plethora of certificates in that domain. I recently did a profile of someone. They took like a career break of 6 years, but they had done like 15 certifications in different courses in digital marketing. It was a plus sign. They got a job in digital marketing. So LinkedIn has like dedicated sources, and LinkedIn has become like a really brand to associate it with. So it's right there with, it's actually sometimes better than a Udemy and all of that.
I think Shubhi just wrote to us saying she is not clear on this thing that you explained on how to write to a recruiter or how to find a hiring manager. And then, when you're applying for a role, how do you sort of connect? Maybe you could just explain that one more time.
Sure. Should I share my screen and show it to you?
Of course, sure. Please go ahead.
So I'll just show you for an example profile. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
So this is one of those creators. All right. Suppose they were a recruiter and they just posted a job. So what I mentioned was, here is your jobs section. You can set a job alert here. Once you do that, it starts sending you jobs that are, suitable for your profile. 9 out of 10 times, for example, they will have the details of the job poster as well. Let's see if this one has. This is just a random one. So they don't have, they haven't posted like who has posted it, but how you can, So Olina Z is the job poster. You go to her profile. You click on more. If you have premium, you can message. If you click on connect, it says add a note. So you can 300 characters. Hi, Olina. Came across, blah, blah, blah. Would love it if you can share the details of the guided recruiter. I would like to send in my application personally. Even if she says that please apply on the website, at least she knows that you reached out. So that is a strategy that really works.
Okay. We have a question from Bhavnidhi, who's joined us from LinkedIn. She says, do employers follow what kind of posts you read and what groups you follow? Does this make an impact in your interview calls? I doubt if they follow they may see what kind of posts you are making, but I'm not sure if they are interested in seeing what kind of posts you are reading or what groups you're following.
If you read something, they will not know. If you like and comment, they will, and they open their LinkedIn as frequently as we all do, they will probably see it. And if you post something, then definitely they will. So depending on how nosy your employer is and probably wants to know more, they can use it against you. So, but if you are in a job and you are probably looking to switch, I would be very careful to not go too anti about an employer online, because that has gotten people into trouble. And also, like in my previous organizations, we were told to put a disclaimer on our LinkedIn profile that all views are personal. So there are very strict guidelines around that. So definitely check with that and if you're employed somewhere, maybe have a conversation with your HR as to how much can you produce or what kind of content can you produce.
Okay, we have a question from Sonali Mishra. She wants to know what is a good strategy to leverage both personal and company account for business generation.
Okay. See, like I said, company accounts are primarily monetized. All right. Growing them organically will take a lot of patience and a lot of time. You get 250 invites every month. You can send them out. You can accept that. If you put a job posting on your company, the LinkedIn forces the applier to kind of follow it. So that bumps up your following count. Then there are very B2B lead gen ads. That's a whole different ball game. That's into performance marketing. You can run those, but the budgets are very high, like as high as 5 to 6 lakhs a month. That's the minimum they would ask. They work really well. Ad revenue for LinkedIn has been really good. So those are like the three primarily avenues over there. When it comes to personal, we are in a time where my business is also around that. Founders are like 40% of my clientele. Startups are becoming very founder driven. So the more you talk about your brand and your personal journey, eventually it adds to your business. Like I mentioned, I get 5 to 6 leads a week from LinkedIn, and my content is primarily experiential, educational, and actionable. So definitely start producing more on that. A combination of both in a consistent manner will get you the business you want.
Okay, I have a question here from someone who's asking, how do you contact a potential recruiter on LinkedIn? What are the important things to keep in mind?
So like I just showed right now, that is the most ideal way to do it if you have a free account. From a premium account, you can send them an in-mail, and in-mail sends them a direct notification in their email. So that is good. But keep in mind, recruiters you're not the first one approaching them. So you are going to be they are flooded with their inbox. If you see a LinkedIn share screen of a recruiter, it is always a 99 plus in messages. So if you really want to stand out, you have to be really good with your words. So think about that cold message, because it goes only once. And if you withdraw that message, you won't be able to send it for the next 3 weeks. So keep it very simple, less than 300 characters, with the only agenda of getting a reply back.
Okay, we have a question from Nipinder, who wants to know what is the key to networking on LinkedIn so that you can connect with the right people.
All right.
Adding on to say, does endorsement, or I think what he means is the recommendations, do they add value to your profile?
Recommendations, definitely. Think of it as you're a user. Whenever you are planning to buy something or look at something, you definitely gaze at reviews. My website has it, my LinkedIn profile has it. So recommendations definitely work. Have like 5 to 6 in them. Ask those people you work. Then how to network. Another good thing is, if you're big into content creation, comment. All right. Spend some time, block some creators. LinkedIn has really good content, much better than Instagram and other portals, not cringeworthy. You will learn from it. There's a lot of free resources there. It gives you a bell icon, very simple, similar to YouTube. So you get notified whenever your favorite creators are pushing out content. You engage with them, be the couple of the first commenters over there. That helps in the networking aspects, because that breaks the ice. And then if you message them, your chances of getting a reply are much higher. I have gotten meetings with people I never imagined. Like, I'm not going to take names, but that is the approach I have followed always. So trust me, every entrepreneur you dream of, or any big guy, he or she is checking their LinkedIn at least 10 to 15 times. And they do gaze over your messages, etc., or their team sees it. So I would say just stay active, comment on their active, like it won't happen overnight, but just kind of repeat the whole process.
So interestingly, Rohan, we have collaborated in the Accelerated Management Program for the Career Success Office. Basically, how do you sort of prepare for your, next job, next career, next role? So in that, you partner with us to sort of help to make the one-page resume. And, we've often talked about the importance of creating the right resume. So tell us, if you were to sort of give some, ideas to people on how to sort of amp up their LinkedIn, presence, then 3 or 4 things that you think people should definitely do, while they are, say, upskilling and other things. I mean, I understand one thing is to write more. That's one thing you mentioned, to basically put out your opinions and your thoughts. What else can they do?
Number one, start with like optimizing your profile. All right. Shift your photo and summary from the resume on your LinkedIn. Invest in a professional headshot. It does not cost more than 200, 300 rupees, even less if you get like a proper. And it will last you for at least 5 to 6 years. All right. Get that out of the way because that is your first impression. Make a nice cover photo. Like if you look at my cover photo, it has numbers, it has the link to my logo, and that kind of gives that. So that is definitely and your headline, all right, and about me. These 4 things, do not do anything on LinkedIn before completing these. So this is I would say, like the Bible to starting your LinkedIn journey. Because number one, if no one can search for you, then what's the point of being on LinkedIn, right? So optimize that. Like you mentioned, I know a lot of people, we call it internally in BYOB, first post anxiety. So we have a lot of clientele that signs up, they take the content and they get anxious when the first post is going live. Get that out of the way ASAP. All right. No one cares so much. That's the brutal reality. Start putting out content and don't be afraid of commenting as well. All right. Find the niches that interest you. And what you will see is, because what happens is, how the algorithm works is, you will start showing up in people's feeds, all right? And that's how you get picked on. And that's how people see your profile. And when they click on it, then they see a nice optimized profile with like links, cover photo, they know what you do. And that's how opportunities start unlocking. So these 4 or 5 things, engagement, content, optimized profile, is something that you should definitely do as in addition to your resume.
What about, video resume? You mentioned that before. So is that a good, like 1 minute sort of?
You don't even have to go a minute. So when you click on your profile picture, it gives you it's like similar to the Instagram story function. Actually, by the way, LinkedIn did launch stories and they took it off in 1 month because everyone got pretty pissed off with that. But you can put that because if someone clicks on it, they get to hear you also, right? So a video, we are in this age where we are consuming video a lot daily. So getting a preview of someone is always helpful. So I haven't added it yet, but I would definitely recommend it. A lot of my clientele does it because it only adds to you. It won't hurt you.
Okay. All right. I have a question here from someone who's watching this on YouTube. This is Surabhi. Is it really important to have posts or articles on your profile? What if I do not and still apply for a position with basic outline of my experience or the companies I've worked?
It's absolutely not mandatory. It's absolutely not mandatory, but it will only add to your candidature. All right. If it's more from a ref fact checker kind of thing. Just Google yourself today. I do that sometimes. Do you pop up? No. But when I started putting out content, I started ranking in Google as well. So just think like from a viewer's perspective, oh, they've written this is their opinion. They got so many likes. They have so many followers. Sadly, we are in that generation where kind of a social media presence and kind of gives you an initial perception of that. It will only aid in your candidature, but it's not mandatory for sure.
Okay. Any thoughts on Easy Apply? Does it work? This is someone saying it's pretty useless. I have seen 100+ jobs in Easy Apply within minutes. Should we focus on jobs with an application link that takes you to the job and then to the portal? I'm not sure what the last sort of point is, but
when I applied to Google, they had Easy Apply. I didn't do that. I applied it on their website because I think I just checked internally. They only look at those. So Easy Applies, I do resonate. It's pretty useless because it just takes your profile and submits it. And whenever we have posted jobs and we don't really get the correct candidature from there. So if there is no other, avenue, like if the recruiter has only set it as an easy apply, then you don't have an option. But like I mentioned, even if you do an easy apply, even if you do the website, definitely reach out to the job poster or the HOD of the job there is. That will definitely bump up your chances more.
Okay, and I think Vishal, last question from you. He wants to know that he's an entrepreneur and is in the process of starting a new business of which he doesn't know anything. How can I make LinkedIn relevant for me? He wants to know your opinion.
So depends. If you're starting a new venture, awareness is always the first thing that you should do, regardless. You will not get leads from day one, might not get for 12 months. So you need to start with awareness. So there are 4 basic content pillars. One is educational, one is analytical, one is actionable, and the fourth one is blanking out. So I would say like go for more educational and experiential content before having your website and having your basic architecture set up. So start educating your audience, start connecting with people who will be relevant customers, clients, or just kind of fans, and then start putting out more content about your business. Don't make it too salesy because no one will probably engage with it. Keep it why you got into, share more stories, and that would be a good starting point.
Okay, I think we are almost at the end of this. I can see 2 questions. Here is someone who says they have been an entrepreneur, has just closed and exited a venture, now is looking for a job. How can LinkedIn help?
Like I showed, if you're an entrepreneur, you are suitable for a CEO role. So you can definitely, like I have a job alert set up. You never know with this. So there are a bunch of co-founder openings that come out, all right. An entrepreneur has so many experiences that are more than an MBA, etc. I would definitely start putting it out. I would say Twitter is also good for you. We are seeing a huge slump in macroeconomic conditions right now. A lot of talent is coming in the form of co-founders, entrepreneurs looking for jobs. So even if you put out a basic post, you will get picked up because a lot of people, everyone knows that an entrepreneur has done everything. All right. He's not just a marketing strategist or operations. So start putting out content because you will have much more stories than just people. And like the basics, like Seema mentioned, optimize your profile, content, resume, and that's the way to start.
So Nikhil wants to know about, I think, ATS, and I don't think this webinar is really answering ATS related questions, but you know, your
website.
towards, huh?
They can check our website. There's a whole explanation of ATS.
Yeah, this is largely that. Okay, I think we'll end here for the day. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. The Accelerated Management Program is recruiting for its 3rd cohort. If you want Rohan to sort of look through your resume and make it sharp and do write to us. We're happy to sort of give you more information about the program. And we do believe it's one of those programs that will help you in many things other than just getting your resume and your LinkedIn made. So thank you so much, Rohan, and thank you everyone for joining us. We hope this was useful.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.